G'day, mate, and welcome to Reality NSFW coverage of Australian Survivor Blood v. Water 2022 episodes 19 and 20. Holy moly! I am joined by Kuhlman, Dan Montchal. I'm Jonny Fairplay. It's early. It's probably late there in Australia, so this works out for everyone involved. Maybe, just maybe. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good.
Good. Another two really good episodes.
Right?
They're great.
Yeah.
It's
I may say the best episodes of the season so far.
Well, I mean, I love the one where Sam takes the idol. I just think the boo moment is so awesome, and then just the fandom backlash one way or another, I think is incredible. To trigger that emotion from people, I think is just incredible television.
And people have been hating on her ever since.
Not me. Elite. She is an elite player. So
the only reason I didn't like the move is because I could see what it would result in for her, and I just thought that wasn't like a good choice. But
yeah, but I feel that we learn they're not playing for both of them to win the game. They're playing as because once the merge happened, you saw, Mark's like, hey, this is my end game. I don't care about your end game, and it's just like, oh, this is crap, because I felt Sam was playing such a much better, or easier to root for game in the first half. However, if the mindset was, we're not both playing to win, we're playing for one of the two of us to win. And if that's the case, at this point in the game, Mark has a better shot than Sam.
Yeah. I think her going is good for his game.
Yeah. So, and they stockpiled 2 idols.
Yeah.
So, and because I don't think, I think Jordie believes in his heart of heart that she had that Mark potentially has 2 idols now, or maybe Sam left with one. But I don't think everyone else believes that. So Mark can burn one and then sit and be like, look, that's it, and then burn another one when he needs to. So and we're looking at endgame here. I mean, even though 3 people came back, there's 28 people left in the game. We're almost there.
So there's 6 left, right?
7.
Maybe 6 after 20. I don't know. There's 7.
There's 7. We have 7.
Okay, there's 7 days left. Which, for a game that goes 212 days, 7 days seems like the end.
Yeah, and it seems like it's gonna, I don't know, it does put Mark in this better position, because all anyone was focusing on was Sam's playing so well, and she was always the one that was getting all the attention, minus that one vote where Jordie voted Mark kind of as a decoy. But
yeah,
I think it works well for him.
But I think the Sam attention, it went from Sam's playing so well to Sam's paranoia was the recurring theme. And a paranoid game is not a winning game. Like the jury doesn't like that. The jury's not sitting there if all they have in their head is you just being a mess. It's just like, I mean, they fought, but we already got Jordie being a mess. So I don't know. I think Mark is in a great spot right now, and it pains me a little bit to say it, but he's growing on me.
Yeah, I think he's in a good spot. I mean, at this point, I think, doesn't the target have to shift from, well, Sam was the person needed out, to Jordie probably has the biggest target on his back with everything that he's done in the past few episodes?
I think so. But it looks like the Joker and Half Face are working together, so we shall see. So
thank God we could cram in all more the Batman references these past 2 episodes.
Even Mark joined. I'm like, stop it, please. Who knew that the Heath Ledger Joker or the Heath Ledger Batman would be so inspirational to this season?
I think we had 3 Joker references in the first 5 minutes of this episode.
Oh, at least.
Well, that's all. I mean, Jordie's grown on me, but that's all that you hear that he's the Joker, or just about how Sam stitched up Jesse Good. It's one of the two.
Did he stitch up Jesse Good?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about Jordie in the beginning, and I'm a little unsure about him as a player, but he is great on TV. Like,
he is. I mean, but I feel that they lost confessional footage for like the last 9 days of Jordie's game, and they just keep playing the same confessional over and over again.
Yeah, I honestly think Jordie does best when he's not in confessional, because it's the same. It's so repetitive. But when you get him actually talking and doing stuff on screen, like, all right, I'm here for it.
I like him. So it's not.
I'm a fan.
Spencer says it's not done till they call Dave Commissioner Gordon. Juicy Commissioner Gordon. So, all right, it's day 37. We're back to 9, pretty much back to the start, and the Joker is back.
I put that in my notes. The Joker is back.
The Joker is back.
Just in case I forgot.
He's got a second chance from the Survivor Gods. I do love any reference to the Survivor Gods, because they are, in fact, a real thing, especially in Australian Survivor. I think the Survivor Gods. It's also called production.
That is one thing I was thinking about as I was watching it. I was like, there is a lot of talk about the Survivor Gods on TV, but I never hear like anyone really talk about that.
Yeah, I love the Survivor Gods.
It's fun.
Because I employ the wrath of the Survivor Gods on Pearl Islands. I can't remember. I had done something, and they're just like, Fairplay, what do you think about that? And I'm just like, I'm bored. Keep fucking with my game. Give me something to do. And they're just like, you better watch what you say. I'm like, I'm saying bring it. I was like, because otherwise complacency doesn't help you in the game of Survivor. And if the path is easy, that gives people that aren't good at the game a chance to catch up and fuck you over. So yeah, like just being back on my heels and being proactive versus reactive, for me works as better strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess talking about the Survivor Gods, I think the one person that they haven't favored is Sam's. I think if you look at it, it's like, I think she said she's been a part of 11 tribals, and I think like 4 of the 11 people she's voted out have come back.
Yeah.
That's bad.
And Sam has played. I mean, I think if we don't get these, the spy back, that Sam probably, like, Jordie has been a thorn in Sam's side, because I think if Jordie's not there, we don't have the paranoia, and we see first half of the game Sam playing the second half.
Yeah, and if it kept going the way where there was never purgatory where they came back. I mean, they were down to final 7, final 6, and they still had that huge majority still with the 2 couples. Like, they were in a really good spot.
Yeah, and I mean, and I've said it for multiple episodes now. As soon as the couples fire shots at the other couple, that just puts the remaining couple at the bottom of any alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, and case in point, we even though it was a twist to get out Jordan, that put the target on Mark and Sam at the forefront and moved them down in the power rankings to the bottom.
Yeah.
But without one, I feel like Mark's right there in top spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's ever really been a time, except for maybe, this upcoming part, where Mark hasn't been in a very good position the entire game.
Yeah, so I'm for it. I mentioned with Matt Bischoff last night on the I think we talked about in the Q&A, or either Australian Survivor coverage. Mark is coach. So, but it took coach 3 episodes to tell this story, and it's taken 3 seasons where it's taken Mark. Like, I thought Mark was a douchebag his first go round. Like I was not like I'm just like I know that person. I don't like that person. I'm not hanging out with that person. That person's not hanging out with me. And I want to hang out with Mark and Sam. You know, she's like, hey, you know, they've lifted the restrictions. We're coming to America. We love America, and we're hanging out. And I'm like, how cool is that? So, and it wasn't just me. You know, just like me mocking you, hanging out.
That's awesome.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But what a story arc for Mark. I mean, I really went in when they asked them to come back. I'm like, I get the casting. I really wanted because I had the opportunity to talk with Sam during our coverage of World's Toughest Race and did a long form interview with her, and so I potentially knew what Sam could bring to the table. But I'm just like, Mark's a lost cause, and if it wasn't for Blood versus Water, there's no way this guy gets the call. And he surprised me. As I said, I don't know how big a fan of Survivor he was going into this, but I feel he's become a huge fan and really analyzed and studied the game.
Yeah, and even the first time they played, like, despite the fact it didn't go well, you could tell that Sam, maybe it wasn't the most polished game, but you could tell that there were thoughts and there were some positive things there, where Mark, it was just, he's a big dude, and I don't get what else he really brought to the table.
Yeah. CD Mac, Mark is so boring. Well, Mark's getting better. So, hey, you're not going to believe this, but Jordie is back for revenge and Sam. And they thought they saw the Joker, but they haven't seen anything yet. 18th Joker reference. But now it's time for what? I have it in all caps. The auction. Who doesn't love the auction? This is why U.S. Survivor fans have become fans of Australian Survivor. It's so funny because like Matt Bischoff and I were talking about the challenges on Australian Survivor, and some are just so brutal and physical that don't bring them to the U.S. because we won't finish them. But there's others that are so simple and fun and easy that like it's become a staple after Champions versus Contenders 2, in which they go on a reward and the person has to do it one at a time. And there's always, an idol or an advantage or something hidden there. And I would love for U.S. Survivor to steal that staple. I think it's amazing. And Matt Bischoff's just like, well, maybe they don't want to feel like they're stealing their stuff. And I'm just like, Australian Survivor stole the auction, and we love them for it.
Yeah. I think U.S. Survivor did something similar once in one of the greatest seasons of all time. Clearly, Ben winning Healers, Hustlers.
Oh, sweet.
I feel like Australian Survivor fixed the problem with the U.S. Survivor auction, which is everybody just waiting for the advantage.
Yeah.
Hide it in the cup of tea. Like, there you go. Done. Still great. People get to eat. Like, it's entertaining to watch, and she pulled it off. Like,
all right, we'll get to the tea. So it starts off. There's a meat pie. Chrissy gets it for $100. I feel like this is the best bargain of the auction.
I would have bought the meat pie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because after this, people are just like, once one person goes to 500 right for it,
it's over.
Yeah. I 100% would have gotten that meat pie because, like, I don't know, stuff just goes downhill after the first item sometimes, or it gets more risky.
Yeah. So and the meat pie, like the sauce, for those of you wondering, is ketchup. Feel free to just call it ketchup in the future, Australia, just in life, not just on Survivor.
I'm disappointed, Australia.
No, it's fucking ketchup. So tomato sauce. So next is chicken parm, chips, and beer. And holy moly, do they love their chicken parm.
Anything with parm in it over there in Australia. They love it.
They're big fans. And this goes to Jordan for $500. This was where this separates JLP from all the other hosts of it separates them from the Phil on Amazing Race, from the Probstes, and from the TJ Lavins. He gives Jordan his parm, chips, and beer, but then pulls out another beer to join him. I'm just like, how cool is this dude?
Yeah, you're not seeing probes crack open a cold one with a castaway there.
I don't think so.
Not on TV anyway.
That would be cool though.
One of my favorite moments on Pearl Islands was it was the pirate ship reward challenge, and the winners got to go deep sea fishing and pearl diving. They did not show the pearl diving because I actually got a pearl, and we weren't allowed to take anything from the area. So them showing me getting a pearl would have shown that we had taken something from the island. So, but I did, go, and I was like, and I was dying because I was pounding beers on that boat on the deep sea fishing part, just pounding beers. They're just like, okay, you got to go pearl dive, and I'm just like, I can't. And they're like, we need the footage, and so they're like, just go. And so they give me the snorkel. I'm vomiting into the snorkel, shooting it out of the snorkel.
They should have included that footage.
Yes. Like I was just like, I can't do it. They're just like, right, we'll show you the clam to grab. Just like we literally, because Lil's like, I can't do it. And I'm like, oh my God. They're like, fair play. We got to get something. And so it was sus at best. But prior to that challenge, Jeff's like, you want to know what you're playing for? And we were playing for pizza and beer. And he may have given a slice of pizza for us to share. I can't remember, but I know for a fact that he gave us a beer. And I was like second or third in line. And, it's like 8 of us playing this challenge. Mm-hmm. And whoever the first person was took a little sip. I fucking chugged that motherfucker and left like 2 sips for 7 people to share. I was so proud of myself. It was just like the ultimate dick, because I'm just like, if I don't win this, I'm getting this. So, and I ended up not winning that challenge, but I was chosen to go on the challenge. So for those of you scoring at home, I do have the record for most rewards enjoyed by a single player in a single season in the history of the show. I got every reward that season but 2.
Nice.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, I'll take it. So next it's a burger. Josh and Dave won it for $500. Josh backs off. Dave gets it. And next is a $500 covered item. Jordie immediately says $500. Mark matches. It's time to draw rocks. How cool is this? And Mark wins steak, chips, and soda, and Jordie wins a white rock, which if I were him, I would put on eBay.
I would have cried if I was Jordie. Like,
I know.
He was like very upset. I probably would have cried about that.
He got the car though.
But
he got the Isuzu.
This was one thing I was a little unsure about, like gameplay wise, if this was a good idea for Mark to do. Because like Jordie already hates him, at least in the game.
Yeah, I
already coming for him. It's just, I don't know. It's just putting salt in the wound.
It is salt in the wound, but I don't really think it changes anything.
I thought it was just
right. It probably doesn't change anything.
I thought it was just more it was a covered item and Jordie's bidding, and Mark just didn't want it to happen to be an advantage or something like that. So
yeah. So no, I'm cool with it. And if anyone could have used that steak right there, it's Mark.
I guess either way, you don't want to like fuel your enemy either.
Yeah. So next, it's pizza and wine for $300 to Shay. Once again, I feel like it was a good purchase.
Anything less than 500 was a bargain.
Were they allowed to share anything at all?
No.
Okay.
He said if you were allowed to share, he would tell you, and he never tells us. So okay. I'm wondering if there's potentially an item that we didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
So because they have been able to share. The greatest food auction of all time is Luke Toki's first season. When he wins, he gets whatever the person that wins the auction gets.
Oh yeah.
So so he got the coconut, he got the letter or phone call from home or whatever, got to go on the overnight. I mean, every single thing. He's like, this is the greatest king of the jungle. So that's my favorite auction ever. Next is a covered dish. It's a Vegemite sandwich, Vegemite toast.
Yummy.
You knew there had to be the let's make a deal wonky prize or whatever, and that's it. Next, it's a covered dish to KJ. It's a $220 cup of tea and a clue. All right, here's my problem with these game savvy Australian players. So they know the game. They watch Australian Survivor. They watch our seasons of Survivor. I feel like they know the game. They've learned from Sandra. There's got to be an advantage somewhere in this auction. So even if you don't see it, it's just like, okay, where could it have been? And the only option is the tea.
Yeah, there was really no other spot where someone could have grabbed it or it could have been hidden under anything.
I guess it could have been like under a steak or something, but I don't know. It'd be a little wet.
I would blow up KJ's game right here. So it wouldn't matter.
Nobody noticed her because like she did it. It was slick. At the same time, there was unaccounted for time that she was standing there. I don't know.
But still, there's got to be something. I'm blowing up KJ's game, but it wouldn't matter if I did. But I think I'm going after on the offensive on KJ right there.
Yeah, and especially because there's going to be advantage, and it's exactly what they need. This is why when they bought 3 people back from purgatory, it was all you need is just one small advantage here or there, and completely changes the game.
Yeah. So, and I probably go home if I go, because as I said, there's no way I accept the fact that there was an advantage. So I'm calling KJ out, and KJ has this advantage that completely fucks whoever she puts in her crosshairs. And then it's me going home because I figured out that she has the advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, very well could have been.
So I'm rethinking my stance here. but I don't see it playing any other way.
No. But I mean, this one would have been hard to predict because have we really seen something quite like this before?
King George at the beginning of yep. So which did not play the same. It's just like, I'm protecting all the old, unlikable, nerdy people. I'm not old. You're old. All of you are losers. You're welcome. I just called you all losers. Told everyone else you're losers. It's like, oh, King George, please stop. Yeah. Oh, well. So next is Letter from Home. Shay gets it for $200, and she gets the, the Pirate's Dilemma?
Yeah, it's... you just never actually see someone. I would love to see someone being like, "No, it's mine," but I feel like you just can't do that.
Have we not seen that ever? In which someone said, "I just got to do it for myself."
Oh, wasn't there an earlier season with cars where like everybody could get a car?
Cindy from Guatemala,
and she kept the same thing
where it was like the rest of the final 5 or final 6 would have gotten a car, but she said she needed it and she kept it.
Yeah. Curse of the car. So, like, I'm thinking if I get that decision during the dead grandma lie, there's no way I can't keep it for myself because I got to. We need the reveal.
Yeah.
I mean, like that the whole it's a 2-part deal. So it's I do the lie and then I reveal the lie. If I fucking give that destroys all the bad boy stuff.
Yeah, but also at that point, I think the way everyone else was crying and so emotional, they just would have told like Fairplay, like you just go talk to your buddy.
You need this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if it makes it even better that they that they talk me into keeping it. Oh, and another thing, like I didn't know this at the time, but I get there was a producer who I don't remember, but there was a producer on the Weird Al Yankovic podcast, and he was talking about how he hated my guts and I was horrible, and I'm just like, I fucking gave you gold and did anything you guys asked me to, mm-hmm. But he said that when Jeff found out, he was furious and he was going to out me right there. It's like during the challenge when they were on satellite phone trying to see if they can get me out in time for the funeral, and they tell him, and he was just like, he goes, "Fuck this guy, I'm fucking and they're like, "You can't," and he was like, "What are you talking?" They're just like, "This is his fucking game." Like, this is part of his deal, and Jeff was furious and bit his tongue, but the world could have been a different place.
You think they would have voted you out then?
It wouldn't have helped things. So it would have been an uphill battle right there. I mean, I used that, like, it's not so much the dead grandma lie was a moment, and people were like, "What did you really get?" Blah blah blah, and I'm just like, I got equity in which I could fuck over Krista and Sandra for an 8th time, swearing on my dead grandmother. So I got equity in Lil going, yes, this guy has his vices, and and there might be some bad traits to him, but he is a human and he feels pain and sorrow and loss just like the rest of us. So I felt like it wasn't, that reward meant nothing. It was the equity that I built from that. And then the television viewing aspect of it, when as you, the viewer, know that I'm lying, and me swearing to these people on my dead grandmother, that was where the hate grew with the viewer. It's just like, he's lying, don't fall for it, and they're falling for it. So I think there's just so many components to it that a lot of people they just he lied about his grandma. I'm like, there's a little more than that, actually, a ton more. But so Shay gives up her letter. Everyone else gets a letter. Which, how fucking great would it have been if Josh gets the letter and gives it up?
Well, I feel like Josh needed this. We haven't gotten too many solid things from Josh that have been caught on camera.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm production. Like, if Josh wins, does Jonathan even offer the option of everyone else getting it? Because they have to know, production wise, this is our biggest moment here.
Yeah, I think you need to have that on film where Josh finds that out, like, for a moment for him and for the season.
Yeah. So do you think Jonathan doesn't even offer the option of everyone else getting their letter if Josh is the one that gets it? I can't, if for me, I can't risk losing that moment.
Yeah, I think you just say, hey,
yeah, you got
Josh won, congrats.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe they offer it, but I just, because the outcomes of these letters. I mean, they've read, like, it's not like they're sealed and they're just like, holy shit, can you believe that?
That's a good question. I always wonder how much production makes decisions, like, based on how the game is going versus was everything pre-planned from the beginning, and that's that.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I have mine's in the glass case over there. This must have changed over time, but I can tell you on Pearl Islands are letters from home that we get after the Loved Ones Challenge. We finally get our letters from home, like at the very end. Thunder D writes my letter from home, and basically he didn't even bother writing. Like, he sent a bunch of Pro Wrestling Torch newsletters, which they wouldn't let me have. So that was the bulk of it, just a bunch of wrestling results, and they're like, no. And then his letter was just like, yeah, so they had me write this 2 days after you left. So obviously nothing has fucking happened in 2 days. So I feel like these are a little more current. So it's time for the letter reveals. Sam's son waits for her each morning with his backpack, and it's like, crushing.
Yeah.
Sam's son's name is Harry, and I'm guessing he's obviously named after Dirty Harry.
That's what I thought.
Cool. Of course. What else could it be?
I mean, so Jordie has trouble reading his letter because he's not very smart. Oh no, he's sad. Sorry, I just thought he was illiterate. No, this is a pretty cool Jordie moment. So, because we learned earlier that his stepmom passed right before they went out there. They only had a couple weeks to console their father, and it seems that his father's doing good. Because just imagine losing your wife and then your kid. Like who knows this guy's support system. So, but I'd like to think this guy has some friends. So he's getting invited to the pub, having some chicken parms with some friends.
Yeah, I'm sure he's doing all right. I mean, especially if he's got, the personality of both Jesse and Jordie. Like,
yeah,
he's all right.
He's on Tinder. He's swiping right. So next we see Josh's fiance Sage, and I'm just like, all right, this motherfucker's already won life. Like, does he really need to win Survivor?
No.
So he's a pilot. His chick is one of the hottest women on the planet. Obviously, why pilots they don't date ugly. it's a rule. And then he finds out that she's pregnant. It's the letter comes with sonogram pics, and it's revealed that she had a cyst on her ovary, was preparing for an IVF, and she's pregnant the whole time.
I mean, going back to it, I think no matter what production does, they have to get this moment on.
Yeah, camera. There's no, I mean,
yeah.
If Josh is your winner, he needs this moment to help the emotional attachment to the viewer. I don't want Josh to win. I still think a Josh win is a shitty season. Not fucking Kira Moen shitty, but
and like if she was like starting to do like IVF, or they were thinking about it, that means they've been trying for a long time and it hasn't been working out. So
did I say IVF? IVF, correct? Thank you.
Yeah.
So in vitro fertilization, for those of you who want to. So next we learn that KJ's advantage is KJ gets to choose 3 people to leave tribal during one of the next 2 tribals, and I'm guessing that one of the 3 people cannot be yourself.
I had a question about that. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Well, I know she did make the comment during tribal. She said that she could have sent, there would have been the Purgatory 3, but then she's like, she thought Juicy would have went. So, but it was never really clear if she was able to or not.
Yeah. So this is why I like watching Australian Survivor and thinking out of the box, because I feel like they do approach the game differently than we do, and I feel as an idiot that I would have protected my 3 versus forced it the other way. I mean, maybe it would have come to me. But I think I just would have made the decision and been like, that's it. I'm not thinking about anymore. And let's get through let's leave them to fight amongst themselves. But I think the only way I could do that is if I'm one of the 3 that's not on the chopping block. Because I feel like that does put a target on you if you protect your own and you're still there.
Well, and you'd also have to have a pretty good feel on Dave as well, I'm assuming, from conversations pre-tribal.
Yeah. Well, Dave was ready to make that big move.
Finally, he found that letter that he was looking for on what he was going to do.
He walked by where Mark hit his idol, and he was like, oh, shit, there it is. There's the equation I drew out. Oh, man, I should have done this 6 days ago. Good thing these people came back. Next is a swim grappling hook column puzzle challenge, and this is the Michelle Fitzgerald kick the puzzle when you're done column puzzle, which a group of U.S. survivors of Vexel Puzzles made an exact replica, identical size and everything, that was sent to a large group of survivors and with a stopwatch, and I won. Nice. I did this puzzle in 13 minutes and 21 seconds.
Seems pretty good.
Do you know how fast Michelle did it on the show?
Don't know. So, but I just know amongst the people that, you know, it was like Lauren Beck, Matt Bischoff, Rick Devens. I want to say Gavin. It was about 20 people, I believe. So, and I had and of course I sent the puzzle to the next person. Actually, I think I was the last person. I sent it back to Vexel, but of course I sent it missing a piece. because I did kick it over when I was done. and one of the pieces had rolled into the mulch off my front deck, and I didn't see it until after I had sent the puzzle. And I was like, "Hey, I got it. What's your address? I need to send this."
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Is everyone was waiting for the kick, right? Like,
yeah. So, who wins this?
Josh.
Yeah. I don't think he's that big a fan and doesn't know about the kick. Because we know Jordan is not a fan of Survivor, has never seen it.
How are they on the show? Like, just because they're nice to look at, or?
Jordan is very nice to look at, and his counter is his Bloodwater counterpart is a fucking pilot.
Yeah, one's a pilot plus, you know, beefcakes and just
All right. It took me the entire of these 2 episodes to like really figure out who was who, because I had it reversed in my mind. I thought Jordan was Josh and Josh was Jordan. Because
there's I feel, other than the sonogram, there is zero attachment. I mean, like, you know, other than something to look at with either one. So so we see Josh win individual immunity. He's not wearing his hat for the first time. You know, his baseball cap on backwards. He got good hair. Like, this dude's got like super cool hair, and I'm just like, why are you wearing your stupid hat the entire time?
Yeah, he's got to let it flow.
Yeah. So Sam never got puzzle pieces.
The grappling hook was hard.
I'm not a big fan of the monkey claw or grappling hook or anything of that. I mean, I'm not like War Dog uncomfortable with it, but it's not my strong suit. I feel like there's definitely a learning curve. Jordan's been plagued by this the entire season as well. Like, that's not in his wheelhouse.
No, because he was the second to last to get it, I think.
And everything that is involved, a monkey's paw or grappling hook, he has epically failed.
I mean, I feel like unless you've been on a show or something like this, I can't say that I've ever tossed a grappling hook, so I have no idea how I would do it.
I would imagine Andy has it in his backyard.
Well, of course.
All right. So everyone tells us it's simple. It's Jordie. Don't even worry about it. So it's 4 votes on Sam, 4 votes on Jordie, 1 vote on KJ or Shay. It's easy. We're flushing the idol. Jordie's going home. Nothing to see here, folks.
Nope.
And I'm like, and Dave agrees with the move, which I'm like, is this Juicy Dave's big move? And I don't think it is. So we then see I believe it's Juicy Dave explains that it's potentially better to work with the Joker than 2 Oscar-winning actors. And I feel that Juicy Dave is being a little overly complimentary to Mark and Sam. Like, I feel like they're convincing, but I'm not going Oscar worthy.
No, I mean, he just must be confused sometime anyone lies to him.
Yeah.
Does it with a straight face.
Well, I feel like Sam has a pretty good poker face and turns it on when need be, you know, outside of the paranoia. But I think Mark just says nothing. like Mark's game of not revealing anything is just not saying anything.
And you see him earlier in the season, like when Jordie knew that he had the clue and was pressing him for it. He just kind of doesn't say much and just gives you that smirk, and that's just what you get out of Mark.
Yeah, so I'm not against it. So Mark, who is morphing into Sam by the second, thinks the play against them is coming soon. And I'm just like, whew, thank you, non-complacent Mark, because I was waiting for Mark to be like, hey, we're fine. We have the alliance. Nothing can go wrong. Nothing to see here. Don't even think about it. So, but then we see Mark and Sam have decided to leave their idols at camp. So if one of them is voted out, the other is left with two. And I'm like, holy moly. I'm like, this is balls of steel gameplay right here. And not playing an end of like Survivor is an individual game. Blood versus Water throws a huge monkey wrench in all that. And we are seeing a couple finally play an extremely unselfish game, because I felt at the merge, Mark did play a selfish game, and his evolution is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a strategy that most couples, out there wouldn't use. And
no, we're both going with an idol. We're both going to play it if we feel it. And it's just like, well, I mean, but then we both burn them, and and we're next.
I don't know. I felt it kind of as being overconfident, which is usually people's downfall. Like as soon as they're like in the confessionals being confident, and I believe that Jordie was doing that earlier in the season, and he got what was coming to him. But you see it with Mark and Sam as well. Like they're not gloating about it in the confessionals as much, but their actions and the thing, like leaving the idols at camp, to me is like, oh, overly confident, more so than, oh, well, then one person will have two idols. I just think I don't know.
I think it was done with military precision.
I had my first military precision joke lined up, and you just kind of beat me to the punch.
Oh, but we do learn from Mark that the end of the mission is always the most dangerous. So, and I like it when this dude is so badass. I mean, because his first season, you don't. I didn't see the badasser. I just saw, it's just like, ugh, this military jock dude. I'm like, whereas now he's just like, you're a badass. Fucking kill people. It's like, holy shit. Like you talk about executing a plan. I execute people. That's the plans that I'm given.
That's the trump card.
Right? I don't even know if I want to hear a final jury speech. It's just like, I killed 17 women and children. It's like, whoa, Mark.
I am interested to see like where Mark goes from here. Like,
oh yeah. Well, I think that's the most compelling part left in this season is how does Mark's story end?
Yeah, and how much of his game was Sam?
Yeah. Oh,
he had a pre-merge set up without her.
Yeah. Well, he had the boys club. I mean, that's all. I
feel that she has a better social read on things than he does.
Well, as I said, she did and has, but I felt like it's like for him to be observant enough to be like, I think that that the play against us is coming soon is the most observant thing he said this entire season.
Yeah.
I think Mark 2 episodes ago isn't uttering those words. He's like, we're good. I'm winning immunity. We got 2 idols. We're probably not going to get a vote against us for the rest of the game. Like, whereas now he's just like, hey, you know what? One of us is going soon, and let's just plan for that. And once again, we are playing. The 2 of us together are playing as one, and it's just like, wow, this is the most unselfish thing I've ever seen in Survivor. So other than Rupert letting his wife finally play because she was tired of hearing his fucking stories about his adventures and not hers.
Oh, Rupert.
Where's the vape pen? All right, so time for Tribal. And we hear from KJ, the most airtime she's gotten this entire season. When things are, her mom told her, when things are too much, just have a hot cup of tea. And my cup of tea came with a little bit of extra sugar on the side. And she reads the advantage.
But she can only imagine is making half the people there shit bricks. So
Yes, and KJ says she has read the tea leaves. She does about 18 tea and sugar jokes right here. This is, I felt like this seems to be a surprise to Jordie and the others that she has this advantage, but I feel like all the shitty puns are straight out of Jordie's confessional playbook.
Yeah, this cast really loves when they find their catchphrase that we're gonna bang it home.
I'm hanging to it. It's like they're Jonny Fairplay thinking of. Sorry, they're like Jonny Fairplay thinking of a new T-shirt. I'm just like, oh man, this one's a winner, and I'm like, oh no one wants a caddy shirt but me. Oh, thank you, Andy, for the idea of the caddy shirt. So I'm rocking mine. So let's see. Stockade Kid says, still haven't caught up in the current episode, so I'll have to watch this later, but just want to stop by and tell you guys do great work and I enjoy your content. Oh, hey, spoiler, here we go. No. Thanks for the appreciation, Stockade Kid. And everybody click that subscribe button. And hey, you want to join me live? I'm going to be in Nashville on 4/20. I'm going to be at the Doghouse Saloon in Nashville on 4/20. It's a Wednesday night. Get your tickets now at survivortix.com. That's survivortix.com. And then the next week, I'm going to be at the Dirty Bull in Durham. And tickets will go on sale next week for that. I'm just waiting on the artwork to come back. So look for tickets for both of those at survivortix.com. And all right. So back to Tribal. Chrissy, Mark, and Josh are sent out of Tribal. Huge. And it looks like the votes are potentially going to go on Sam. And Sam feels this as well and whispers to Mark, hey, please tell me you didn't leave both those idols at camp, because that seemed like a good idea at the time, but it was not. Did you bring it and say you didn't? And he was like, yeah, I don't have the idol. I don't think you understand how plans work with me, but they're stuck in stone. I don't change plans ever because they're made with military precision. So, but he does pretend to give Sam something, and wow, huge. This is where the Oscar-winning performance, and I think we learned that she was a performing arts major. We might learn in the next one, but Sam's a performing arts major, and showing putting that degree to use right here.
Well, I thought it was great because you could tell it was set down, and Sam's kind of on that end. And you could tell that not everyone saw it, and just how she was making a big deal of reaching over and grabbing the scarf. Nailed it.
Yeah. So it was just enough.
Yeah.
So, and so Sam is speechless. And then we see that I believe it's Juicy Dave, that either Sam or Jordie, one of the two, is the greatest liar on earth. And I'm like, excuse me. I love and respect both Sam and Jordie, but Juicy Dave, let's give credit where credit is due. I, sir, am the greatest liar on earth.
Maybe the greatest liar in Australia.
All right, well then don't say Earth.
I also think there's about a 2% chance that Juicy has watched Pearl Islands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't know anything about the show, does he?
No, he's just there because his hot daughter made him. I miss her, but I do love her Instagram. All right, so Juicy Dave says it's time to ride the lightning. I was not expecting a Metallica reference from Juicy Dave. I don't think he meant it as a Metallica reference either. But,
no.
So, Jonathan will collect the votes. No idol is played. Why? Because there's not one there to be played. And the votes, holy moly, Jordy, Jordan. Wow. And Sam tells Jordan she didn't know. And then Sam reveals to everyone else, look, I have nothing. That's my proof. I don't have there's not a second idol. And if there is, I'm not in possession of it. I've been saying this the whole time. And if I had it, I would have played it tonight.
Yeah, I think that's the best play that she can make on top of it. I mean, she had a really good, I guess, tribal council performance all in all, even post-vote.
But I feel this conversation needed to, like, she showed those people, and I think, I mean, you know, Jordie, of course, doesn't believe her, but I think everyone else, there is a hint of doubt now. Whereas this conversation needed to take place one-on-one with Josh more than anyone else, because like I feel like Sam escapes, and then, you know, the conversation with you know, Josh is like, yeah, it was crazy, yeah, sorry your brother went home. Whereas, you know, Josh is mad, but Jordie, you know, it was just like, hey, you know, she threw Jordan under the bus. She's the reason that. Whereas I think Josh could have read that as Jordie just fishing, but instead he made valid points that Sam has not countered in any way, which she did a really awesome job there. And maybe she does have the conversation, we don't see it, but I'm thinking that needed to be a hard sell to Josh. It was just like, look, you know, yes, it sucked for Jordan, but we were both in shock. You know, I did this as an attempt to be like, you know, maybe Juicy Dave could be a little too juicy for your game and he could blow up your shit later. You know, maybe that's your vote. So, and she didn't sell that at all.
No.
So,
yeah, I guess because we don't know, we didn't see anything, but I definitely would be curious to see if she had a one-on-one conversation with Josh and what that was like.
Yeah. So with that, we're about to talk episode 20. But first, word from our sponsors.
Lucy Nicotine is a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck.
Researched and developed for 3 years to be made for people, not patients. Lucy has created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that comes in 3 flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. Lucy also has a lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine in cherry ice flavor. Each and every flavor actually tastes great, and it's convenient and discreet. Products can be enjoyed anywhere, on flights, at work, on the go, or even in the gym.
I am so happy that Lucy is sponsoring us. Ever since they came on board, I have gotten no less than 5 of my friends transitioned over to Lucy and put their cigarettes down. They like the gum. I'm used to seeing the packages all around. This stuff is great, and it's really helping people make much healthier choices. So get on board and join the Lucy movement.
Hey, it's 2021. Get rid of your cigarettes, unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get some Lucy nicotine gum or lozenges. This is the real deal. A subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each month. It's so simple that you don't even have to leave your house because Lucy has delivery down.
Reality NSFW listeners, go to lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR to get 20% off all products, including gum or lozenges. That's lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Also, I have to give this disclaimer. Warning, this product contains nicotine derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's lucy.co, and be sure to use that promo code SURVIVOR.
This episode of Reality NSFW is sponsored by Blue Chew. Say it with us, Blue Chew. Blue Chew is making waves and bringing more confidence to the bedroom by offering chewable tablets that can help men get stronger and longer lasting erections. That's right, we're giving away super hard dicks.
Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets help men achieve harder, stronger erections to combat all forms of ED.
Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor offices, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And it ships right to your door in a discreet package. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And the best part, it's all done online.
Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. Don't like swallowing pills? No problem here. Blue Chew's sildenafil and tadalafil tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy.
Hey, if you're looking to give that immunity idol to someone, or you don't want to be voted out of a crater, don't worry, Blue Chew's got you covered. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's Blue Chew, BlueChew.com, promo code SURVIVOR to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
We're all trying to eat better, but healthy breakfast doesn't have to be boring. Magic Spoon has the amazing flavors you love, but without all the bad stuff. And it's amazing as a midnight snack right before bed.
0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. That's only 140 calories per serving.
It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. And build your own box. Available flavors to build your very own custom bundle are cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and my favorite, maple waffle. Now, Magic Spoon recently brought back their 2 super popular flavors, cookies and cream and maple waffle. Thank goodness. But they're back permanently. And when these flavors were first introduced for a limited time, they sold out extremely quickly. Now, I'm here to let you know you can get them again or try them for the first time. Why? Because they're delicious and indulgent.
Johnny, Magic Spoon has so many great flavors that I really enjoy, and even my kids enjoy them. We have the cocoa, fruity frosted, peanut butter. All these are really great combinations. They enjoy waking up in the morning and getting some Magic Spoon right off to start their day great before they head off to school. I think everybody listening should give Magic Spoon a try, or if you've tried them already, it's time to reorder. Let's get you some more Magic Spoon and get your day started right.
Hey, when I finish a podcast late at night, the first thing I'm thinking is not sleep. It's let me grab a delicious bowl of Magic Spoon before I go to bed.
So go to magicspoon.com/survivor to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code SURVIVOR at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/survivor and use the code SURVIVOR to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this podcast.
Thank you, Magic Spoon. I had Magic Spoon this morning, and I had a Blue Chew, or I'm having a Blue Chew tonight. So there we go. Promo code SURVIVOR. They love it when we do that. So episode 20, Jordie told Josh that Jordan kissed me on the cheek. and it is then replied that so did Judas to Jesus. And then Juicy Dave comes out of his shell like he's one of the greatest players of all time and has been doing such the entire time. I don't know why they didn't show it until now, but it was time to make a move.
Yeah, man, Josh was... I don't really know what he was expecting them to do. But like, oh, no, we can't vote out Josh's cousin. Like, we'll just lay down and die here.
Yeah, no, it was the right move. So, yes. So Josh is pissed. He's looking for revenge. It's day 40, and Josh calls out KJ, and I'm here for it.
Well, it was nice to get a reminder on who KJ was. So it's exciting.
Yes. So next, Jordie's going to Josh to get out Sam. That's his new plan. And this is where we learn that Sam's a performing arts major, and Sam wants Jordie out, and we're only 7 days away from a winner. That's crazy.
Yeah. I had one question. I guess it goes back to, it would have been the last tribal, but it
7.5.
also work. But it would also work. That was my second one.
Karen's not blushing. I don't know what's going on.
We had, I think, give me a second.
Good.
All right.
It's very serviceable. Literally.
I think it was, I can't remember, it was last week or the week before when they were going to vote Jordie out. He said it's IE in like making it for the end of his name. And Sam keeps going, and she did it in both episodes. She only did the I. Is she doing that on purpose to be a dick?
I think so.
Love her even more.
I know. Yeah.
I didn't notice that, but that's a good point.
Yeah. I'm fucked if I ever go back, because I really enjoyed like putting like stuff, like little Easter eggs for my friends and for like wrestling fans and stuff. Like when I voted out Burton, I wrote Bert and Ernie. Little Sesame Street deal, and then like I can't remember, maybe it was Rupert or what. Like one of them I wrote like RVD 420 for like Rob Van Dam, and then like I think for Michelle I put like VT for Virginia Tech. So I put all these stuff. Whereas if you watch Pro Islands, and then if if I were to go back and play again, and they they're showing, but they're like, oh, that's fair play, because I don't like people knowing what my fucking votes are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least there's still other ways you can do call outs. It's not like Eric from like Micronesian and Caramoan, where he has that font where it's like, oh, okay, that's clearly Eric that wrote that.
So I don't know. I get my shit in my I probably a record as well. Like showing of the votes. I think I have the record for most in a season by someone like showing my vote. I would do, I would do a wrestler catchphrase every time. And one of them was Scott Hall, who just passed away last week. All right. So Chrissy thinks now is the time to strike against Sam. She's like, look, she's got so much power. She's playing a great social game, blah, blah, blah. And Josh's like, I'm not so sure. So he will be sure once he talks to Jordie. So now it's time for the challenge. This is roll a ball and line up blocks to form dominoes. And I noticed right here that Josh, Jordie, and Mark have sandals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very jealous. I would have loved. I mean, like, imagine like with some fucking Yeezy slides on the fucking beach.
I feel like it'd be nice that you get a few pair of shoes and that's one of them.
Yeah. I'm definitely wanting some, maybe easy slides are the most practical, but like, I feel like I'd be a baller. Like Luke Toki's giving me props for rocking some easy slides out there.
Yeah. So I did have a question going into the challenge is, did Jonathan spoil it? Because if you notice, he says, in order to win this challenge, you need to do it with speed and precision.
Oh yeah. I have in my notes. This challenge is all about speed and precision, and I'm just like, well,
and Mark's winning.
Yeah, spoiler alert. So I did like that Shay took one in the face.
This challenge looked so hard. Like I don't think I would be able to do it.
I would love for it to be hard and for Shay to take one in the face. All right, I'm done. See you guys next week. There's nothing left. I mean, it's. I think JLP would give me the high five and be like, "Sir, you've earned yourself a break." So, shocker, Mark wins immunity with military precision, and Sam has the biggest smile on her face. And I got to say, I'm pretty happy too, as a viewer. I'm just like, this is ideal.
Yeah, she was so happy, but I just had to laugh because she was so far away or whatever. She's running over to celebrate with him, and by that point, Chrissy's already jumped in his arms.
Yeah. All right, so tense vibe at camp. Mark explains he needs an idle caddy. Get yourself a caddy t-shirt at JonnyFairplay.com. Don't forget, with every t-shirt, you get a phone call from Jonny Fairplay. No H in Johnny. That's JONNY FAIRPLAY. JonnyFairplay.com. I got Sandra Adios Mate shirts. I got Nina. It's her Destiny shirt, and I have the caddy Andy shirt. I have a bunch of other shirts. I mean, plenty of shirts throughout the 4 years that we've been doing this. So check that out at JonnyFairplay.com. And also get yourself a cameo. I think 25% of my proceeds are going to Ukraine relief. So go to cameo.com/JonnyFairplay. All right, no more plugs until the end of the show. So Mark explains he is never flipping to the Second Chance Alliance. So those are losers, and he is not a loser.
Yeah, good on you, Mark.
Yeah. So Josh now has emotion in his game, which I don't see as an asset. I feel like the emotionless gameplay that he had going into this episode was helping him. So I see that it could work against. And it is revealed by Mark at this point that Josh is Harvey Dent, Mark is the Dark Knight, and they're coming after the Joker. And how prophetic in that we later see from Josh, he is Harvey Dent, but Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face. Like, how does Mark not know that Harvey Dent turns bad?
Yeah, I don't know. I think at this point I wasn't thinking that far ahead and was just like, fucking stop with the Batman references.
Stop with the Heath Ledger Batman shit.
I wasn't feeling like Jordie's pitch to Josh. Like, I didn't feel like he was really all that receptive. It was Dave's pitch that I thought was what got him.
Oh yeah.
Dave did the emotional appeal, whereas like Jordie was being more logical, and it just wasn't.
I think Jordie laid the foundation. I think he planted the seed, and Dave went over with fucking Miracle Grow, and he is like, oh shit, Miracle Grow works. That's some Southern shit.
I guess the one thing that I'm curious to see, and maybe, obviously they painted Jordie to be one of the big characters of the season. What are KJ and Shay doing? Because you both heard all of it. If we get back in the game, we're really going to play this time. It's going to be different. And it's for their sake. I kind of hope that they don't make it too far in the game, because what are you doing out there?
Yeah,
or is it just all about giving Jordie as much airtime as possible?
Yeah, I don't want a Shay or KJ win messes up this season.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be like Erico winning 41.
Who?
What's up?
I said who?
I know. So the majority alliance, minus Jordan, of course, because he was voted out. They're just like, hey, are we good on numbers? And Chrissy's like, yeah. I talked to Dave. He said he's coming back to the dark side. But we don't see anyone else talk to Dave. From
Juicy's fine.
Yeah. So there's Juicy doesn't go off and do his own thing and look for equations and eventually find them. So Jordie pitches to Josh, look, final 2 if you get rid of Sam. And Josh at this point doesn't think that Mark and Sam will take him to the final 3. And I'm just like, I'm not so sure they wouldn't take him to the final 3.
Well, you've got to figure it would either be him or Chrissy at this point.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason not to is because he could be a threat for winning the final challenge, which is bad for Mark and Sam.
Yeah, but I mean, they're probably firing their shot at 5 or 4. But if he wins, they're just like, hey, we're together. I don't know. I don't know if you can trust Jordie though. I mean, because I think Jordie is a little reckless, but at the same time, like, I feel that he feels if he can take KJ, if he goes the end with KJ, Shay, Juicy Dave, or Chrissy, he's beating any of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. So I think he beats Josh, but I don't know if he believes that he beats Josh.
Well, especially because earlier in the season, there was that weird rhetoric that, Josh was the front runner and, leading stuff and he was going to win, which I never really understood why, but he was out there at least.
But I think this pitch from Jordie to Josh isn't true. Like, I don't think they're final 2 if Jordie has anything to say about it.
No, I mean, why would you trust him at this point that he eventually wouldn't?
Yeah. So if I'm Josh, I don't buy what Jordie's selling.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Jordie explains no one will expect them to work together because they shouldn't. So Dave tells Josh that it was Sam's fault Jordan went home, and Josh says Jordan was collateral damage for Sam and Mark's idol. And I feel at this point is where Josh is like, okay, this argument makes sense, but I feel like it's emotion based and not like he's talking, my head and heart, and my heart's telling me that I should stick with Sam, but he's wrong. It's the exact opposite. It's his heart telling him to fuck over Sam and Mark, and his head is correct, but he's a mess. So, but I get it. I mean, blood versus that fucking theme changes everything. So this isn't your number one alliance member that you became friends with, 30 some days ago. This is a family member that it's like, you've hurt my family.
Yeah, and especially when going into that tribal, you had the numbers, and it was like, he's not going home, and it's just this weird twist from someone who was already voted out.
So this theme, I didn't even finish watching Blood versus Water 2 in US. So that's one of, I think, 3 seasons I've never finished. So, and I didn't like it. I'm watching, I'm just like, I don't like this theme. I think I don't think it's not fun for me, the viewer. And once again, Australian Survivor figured out how to not only make the theme work, but make it a, potentially a top 5 season of all time. That's crazy. On a broken fucking theme.
Yeah, I think it has potential.
Yeah. So I don't want it every, don't run this back, like they did Champions Contenders.
Mm-hmm.
So don't run it back, but I'm for it down the road. At this point, I feel this is the biggest no-brainer in the entire season for Sam to play the idol tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, because at that point you still have,
right? Yeah. Of course they're gonna strike.
Yeah. So I mean, I just this is the move to where you play the idol. You hope no one believes you that there is a second idol. If you strike, the person that goes home is Jordie, the one that's been trumpeting your exodus and the fact that there's a second idol. So that shuts that shit down. So I don't see another moment in this game that you're better served, not to be better served than to play the idol right now.
Well, especially because they didn't have the numbers. Their best case scenario here was a 4-4 tie.
Yeah.
So why not play it for Sam, guarantee it, and not have to risk rocks or someone flipping?
I don't. It just made no sense to me. This was the greatest time.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, I feel that at this point in the game, and they've shown it, they've said it, but I don't feel like it's been overly explained. Which in this case, I feel like they could overly explain it. That Mark and Sam have come together, and this is the best play for them as a pair to play as one, to go forward as one person with 2 idols.
Yeah,
maybe we'll hear more insight into that.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, I feel like they said enough that you can surmise that, but I think that's probably better than just beating us over the head with it. And they might on the next 2 episodes, have Mark with military precision explain it over and over again. But
there's going to be so much military precision on just Mark's out for revenge. Mark, this and that.
Oh yeah. So
I feel like it was more overconfidence than planning to kind of potentially sacrifice one of their games for the other.
Yeah. So, but the Second Chance Alliance is laughing at the thought of Josh joining them. Literally, they're just like, hey, I think this guy's gonna fucking write Sam's name down. He's a fucking moron. What is he thinking? So we're together. He's the cool kid. He's trying to hang out with us. They're like, he's so stupid.
It makes no sense all across the board. Why an idol wasn't played, why Josh would flip, there's no idea.
Maybe his plan was to flush the idol because he tried to get her to play it. And why they didn't listen to him specifically, like I get if Jordie's telling her to play the idol, of course they didn't vote for her.
Well, Sam was just like, tell us why. And he should have just said, because I wrote your fucking name down.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the correct answer.
Yeah.
But what I don't like here is we don't see a conversation between Mark and Juicy Dave before Tribal. Because like we see Mark is just like, we got Juicy Dave. And I'm just like, I would have liked to have seen you giving a military precision read on what Juicy Dave says, because I don't feel in any way that Juicy Dave has made it seem that he's with you other than Chrissy's throwaway line that he's back with the dark side. So
yeah,
it's Chrissy saying that and then him hanging out with the misfits.
Yeah, you see nothing that would indicate that he's flipped back or really him doing anything to amend sorry for voting Jordan out.
No, nothing. So time for Tribal. And Jordan with the sweet mustache. Hey, free mustache rides. They're coming. And Dave blames Sam with the no idol move for Jordan's exodus. And Sam realizes at this point, Dave is against us.
Good read.
Yes. And Josh tells Mark to play it safe. And Jordie says this is going to be so good. And then you see Chrissy. I think Chrissy's explaining to was it Josh that, hey, look at Jordan's body language. He's unhappy with Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that that's exactly what Jordie like. Do you think Jordan's mad at Sam or no?
I don't see why he'd be mad at Sam because from what we saw, Juicy kind of played it up that Sam really threw him under the bus. I think it was just, hey, we were in a bad situation. Like we stuck together. It's not like Sam's the one that turned on him. So I don't get why he'd be mad at Sam.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, it's time to vote. And Mark stares down Dave. And Sam misspells Jordie.
Again.
And Josh just flat out says, Mark, play the idol for Sam. Trust me. And they do not, because like once Mark makes a plan, you do not change it. You do not retreat. And so it's Sam. And Sam is so fun right here. Oh, you scalawags. And then says what a lot of viewers, especially those on social media, should take away. Hey, it's a game. It's cool. So just like when Sam took Jesse's idol, it's a fucking game.
So are you saying that Sam really stitched Jesse up?
I'm hoping Sam stitched up these asshole fans that are attacking her for reasons outside of the game, just to fucking troll people. And it's like, look, man, like it was a good gameplay. It said a guy does the same move, he's fucking applauded.
Yeah, it's whenever women make big moves in this game like that, or not to use Jeff Probst's big moves, but great moves in this game, they never get the credit they deserve. And they're attacked by the fans because, their moms or their wives. And it's like, who cares? They're there to play a game.
Yeah. So, no. And Sam's balls are bigger than a lot of people's. So
I would have played both of those idols so long ago. Like, to be able to just sit there and just like not play it every time, like, wow.
Yeah. So, well, have you won Survivor yet, Karen?
I've won online games, but
okay, well.
not quite the same.
Well, neither is Sam. So I'm not sure who's right and who's wrong, but I do like Mark with two idols and no, what I feel like isn't a major target, because the preview for the next episode is it looks like Joker and Two-Face are working together, and I feel that's got to be a red herring, right?
Yeah, I think at this point, especially with Sam not being there, I get that they have that outcast alliance and they brought in Juicy and Josh voted for him. But at what point do they not just look at Jordie and be like, hey, he's got to go?
Yeah. But I don't like either. I don't want Mark to go, and I don't want Jordie to go.
No.
I think Jordie is trustworthy when his back is against a wall because you can predict his movements. But once he has power, then he's dangerous again.
Yeah. Well, he's dangerous again.
Yeah.
Now he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think for this though, it was fine for Josh to trust him in that sense for this specific round. But I mean, believing final 2 is a stretch, I think. But
I did love once everyone left Tribal. You have JLP asking Jesse, goes, "Did you enjoy that?" And Jesse's like, "That was epic."
Their faces, Jesse and Jordie's faces were great.
I was just like this, and Jordie having to see the look on Sam's face when she's voted. Like, it's just like, I have to enjoy every second of this. I want to see your face. I want to see Jesse's face because he got stitched up, by Sam. If only he had mentioned it. So yeah. So and then we see on the reading of the votes, Josh wrote Sammy. So I think he was just trying to flush the idol. So that's why I don't think he's all in on joining the Misfits. I think he just wanted to feel a little more secure. Like I think he wanted it to be fair with Mark, Sam, and Josh moving forward. So he was just like, look, if it's fair, I'm cool. I'm not going anywhere. But if you guys have 2 idols, but let's say for argument you only have 1, how about just burning the 1 so we're on equal fucking footing here? Yeah. And then let's go out and look for an idol together and play it for one another.
Yeah. And if he has flipped, holy hell, him losing his cousin would just be a complete meltdown of his game if his plan is to ride with Jordie moving forward.
Yeah. Are we cool with Josh going next?
Yeah.
Like it's a double cross from Jordie to Josh. I can live with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I think that's probably Jordie's best move.
Yeah, especially because if Jordie still is under the assumption that Mark has 2 idols, why not get out? The next biggest threat there.
Yeah.
Well, Mark would be silly not to play them the next 2 episodes. Like, why wouldn't he? Because it's going to expire at 5.
Play 1 at 6, 1 at 5, and
exactly. So he's Mark's final 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Jordie knows that. So
yeah.
I think is Jordie. I think KJ and Shay believe it too, but they don't seem to be playing like Jordie is.
Oh, they don't mention it every confessional? Oh, because they don't get confessionals.
Well, when you just keep calling yourself the Joker and talking about how your brother got stitched up, that's gold. You got to keep replaying it.
Sweet. All right. Well, I'm loving it. I'm loving this season. If you guys want more Australian Survivor coverage, we are currently watching the 2019 season of Australian Survivor on our Patreon. That's Champions versus Contenders 2. It's the return of Luke Toki, the debut of the Golden God, Dirty Harry. It is awesome. We provide links to each episode, and then whoops. Nope, that is not the ad-free nsfw.com. So yes, go to adfree.nsfw.com to become a patron. You get the links there. You get the Aftershow podcast, and you get the links to this season of Australian Survivor, which is very important if you'd like to watch, because someone didn't want it on Paramount Plus. No. So yeah, so go to adfree.nsfw.com to become a patron. You get added to our secret Facebook Patreon group, which is awesome. We have a lot of fun there. We do a lot of cool stuff, and and then join me live in Nashville on 420, and then the Dirty Bull in Durham the next week. Tickets available for Nashville right now at survivortix.com. That's survivortix.com. Whew, this is fun.
Yeah, I'm loving getting to talk about this season. It's been great so far.
Karen Kuhlman, how was your first podcast talking Australian Survivor?
It's good. I don't really have many people to talk Australian Survivor with, so
okay.
And it's getting real juicy.
It's juicy. All right. So with that, we're going to be back next week. Hopefully we're going to be on the earlier side of the week than last week. It's tough. I mean, you guys, Australian Survivor's on, Sunday nights and Monday nights, and it's the time difference, and we get them in the morning and stuff. So, but yeah, we're shooting for early time slots going forward. We'll do what we can. But thank you, Karen. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Jonny Fairplay. We'll be back next week. And with that, everyone click the subscribe button, do all the cool things you're supposed to do. And we'll see you next week. Oh, we'll see you Wednesday night talking U.S. Survivor. Whew, can't wait. Bye, guys. And for more reality NSFW content, visit adfreeNSFW.com.